There's an incredible tip that can really help you if you want to give your partner a clitoral orgasm. This technique is so simple, anyone can do it. And I've used this technique on multiple partners to give them orgasms with my fingers, with my mouth, and even during sex as well. So what exactly is the technique? Well, to understand the technique, you first need to understand a bit of the anatomy of the vulva and the clitoris. The clitoris is actually a large network with the head of the clitoris being here. This is what most people refer to as the clitoris. We've then got the shaft of the clitoris, which goes down to these bulbs of vestibule, which will be found inside her vagina. So if you're fingering her or if you're playing with her outer lips, you can be stimulating this part of the clitoris. However, it is the head of the clitoris that's the most sensitive, and pleasuring this is how most women are going to achieve orgasm. If we imagine that this is our vulva here and we've got the vaginal opening down the bottom, and then we've got the head of the clitoris up the top, what most women will have is actually a flap of skin called the hood that covers the clitoris. This is similar to the foreskin in men, and like men, when women get aroused, their clitoris engorges, fills up with blood, and gets bigger. And for some women, this can cause the hood of the clitoris to pull back and expose the head of the clitoris so you can pleasure it directly. However, for many women, if you want to fully expose the head of the clitoris so you can pleasure it with your fingers, or you can pleasure it with your tongue and your mouth, or even so you can pleasure it by grinding up against her when you're having intercourse, then you have to actually manually pull the hood back a little bit. Now, you don't want to go in there with your fingers and grab on the skin and try to pull it back the same way you don't try to grab a man's foreskin and peel it back like that. Instead, I find the best way to do it is to get the flat of your hand and place it on her pubic bone or the lower end of her stomach, just above where her vulva is and her clitoris is. And what you do is you push your hand down, not so hard that it's going to hurt her, but just a little bit. And then you push your hand back towards her belly button, up towards her stomach. And what you'll notice is that as you do this, the skin and the hood that's covering the clitoris will start to come back. It's really important that you don't pull too far, because this is going to pull the skin too much. It's going to be too tight, and that can actually hurt her. So you want to do it just enough, and you'll notice that the clitoris will pop out. Now, the more aroused she is, the more engorged her clitoris is going to be, and the more likely it's going to pop out and be extremely visible. However, every woman has a different clitoris, and the head of the clitoris is different sizes for different women. Some women have a bigger clitoris that is more pronounced and easier to find. Some women have a much smaller clitoris that can be difficult to find. But either way, using this technique to pull the skin back can reveal the head of the clitoris, and then you can stimulate the head directly. You can do this with your fingers, you can do small circles, or you can apply pressure. Just always make sure that your fingers are wet. Alternatively, you can use your mouth in order to stimulate her clitoris. And this is how I bring most women to orgasm. I will reveal the clitoris, and then I'll stimulate it with my tongue while I'm also fingering them and pleasuring the G-spot. If you want to learn exactly how to do this technique, then I've got an advanced tutorial where I walk you through step by step exactly what I do to give women these incredible orgasms. You can get access to this lesson for free by going to passionately.com/oral or clicking the link in the description down below. Now, another thing you can do instead of pushing down on her stomach to pull the skin back is you can actually use your fingers from one of your hand and simply place it above her clitoris, either on the outer lips or just on the inside, and you can pull the skin back a little bit with your fingers. I generally like to use the flat of my thumb to put it sideways across the hood of the clitoris and pull back a little bit to reveal the clitoris. You want to be really careful when you're using your fingers on the hood of the clitoris. You don't want to pull it back too much, just a little bit so the clitoris pops out and you can stimulate it. For more tips on how to give her clitoral orgasms, go ahead and check out this video. And don't forget to get access to my free advanced tutorial to give women some of the best orgasms of their life. Go ahead and click here to get access to that.